If you've ever felt a woman was playing with your heart, listen closely. Because right now, she's testing you, and you might not even know it. She's giving you mixed signals. She's hot one day, cold the next. She's acting sweet, then pulling away without explanation. And deep down, you're left wondering, what did I do wrong? Here's the reality most men refuse to face. When a woman plays games, it's not always about cruelty, it's about control. She's watching to see how you react, and every reaction you give her is a piece of the puzzle she's building in her mind about you. The weak man plays along. He chases harder. He tries to fix things. He explains himself. And with every move, he loses respect in her eyes. The stoic man, he doesn't play. He doesn't chase. He doesn't beg for answers. Because he knows something she's not expecting, the one thing that flips the entire script. The man who cannot be controlled, cannot be played. When you master your emotions, you remove her power to manipulate. When you hold your frame, her tests fall flat. When you stop reacting, she's forced to reveal her true intentions, because the game no longer works. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to see through her tactics, keep your power, and turn the tables without ever lowering yourself to her level. This isn't about revenge. It's not about outgaming her. It's about becoming the kind of man no one dares to play with, because they know you're too centered, too calm, and too unshakable to be moved. 1. Recognize the signs of emotional games. The first step in outsmarting any woman who plays games with your heart is awareness. Many men fall into emotional traps because they either ignore or misinterpret the signals. Emotional games often start subtly. She may act overly interested one day and completely distant the next. She might intentionally delay replying to your messages, cancel plans at the last minute, or make cryptic comments designed to make you question your place in her life. Another sign is when she creates situations to spark jealousy, like constantly mentioning other men or posting suggestive updates on social media. It's important to understand that these patterns are not accidental. People who play games rely on confusion to keep you emotionally hooked. They know inconsistency creates an addictive cycle where you start chasing their approval, hoping for that brief moment of warmth to return. The more unpredictable the affection, the harder it is to walk away. Recognizing these behaviors early is your strongest defense. Don't justify toxic actions as just her personality or she's busy. Pay attention to how her actions align with her words. If she says she cares but consistently behaves in ways that make you feel insecure, those are red flags. The key is to step back and view the situation objectively. When you stop making excuses for her behavior and start identifying patterns, you take away the power of manipulation. Once you see the game for what it is, you can decide if it's even worth playing. 2. Control your emotional reactions. When someone is playing games with your heart, their power comes from controlling your emotions. They want to see you confused, frustrated, or desperate, because those reactions show that you're hooked. The moment you let your feelings explode, you give them exactly what they want, proof that they can influence you. The smartest way to outsmart emotional games is to master your own reactions. This doesn't mean ignoring your feelings, it means processing them privately and responding strategically. When she takes hours to reply, don't blow up her phone. When she tries to provoke jealousy, don't rise to the bait. A calm, controlled response sends a clear message: you're not easily manipulated. Think of it like a chess game. The more emotional you get, the more predictable your moves become. But when you stay grounded, she can't figure out your next step. In fact, staying calm often frustrates someone who's trying to push your buttons, because it takes away their sense of control. This doesn't mean you need to be cold or robotic. It means you choose your words and actions from a place of self-respect, not emotional impulse. When you control your reactions, you're no longer a player in her game, you're the one setting the pace. 3. Set clear boundaries. Boundaries are the invisible lines that protect your self-respect and emotional health. Without them, anyone can walk in and out of your life on their terms, leaving you drained and confused. When dealing with a woman who plays games, boundaries are non-negotiable. A boundary isn't about controlling her, it's about controlling yourself. It's deciding what you will and will not tolerate. For example, if last-minute cancellations are a pattern, you might set a rule. If plans are cancelled twice in a row, I stop making new ones. If disrespectful teasing crosses a line, you address it directly. Clear boundaries work because they remove the gray area. Instead of wondering, should I let this slide? You already know your limits. And when those limits are crossed, you don't argue or beg. You simply take action, whether that means stepping back, reducing communication, or walking away completely. The key is consistency. If you set a boundary but break it the moment she gives you attention, it loses all power. Boundaries only work when you stick to them, even if it means losing her. Ironically, boundaries can sometimes make her respect you more. People often test limits to see how much they can get away with. When she sees that you value yourself enough to enforce your standards, it changes the dynamic completely. You're no longer an easy target for games. 4. Match actions, not words. One of the easiest ways to get caught in emotional games is by focusing on what she says rather than what she does. Words can be charming, convincing, and even addictive, but actions never lie. If she tells you she cares, but repeatedly makes choices that hurt you or disrespect your time, that's the truth you need to pay attention to. When someone is playing games, they often use sweet promises or emotional language to keep you hooked. They might say, "I've been so busy, but I really like you," yet they never actually make time to see you. They might promise, "I'll be there for you," but vanish the moment you need them. Matching actions to words means holding people accountable. If her actions and words don't line up, you believe the actions, not the story. This doesn't require confrontation or drama. It's simply quiet observation followed by the right decision. By training yourself to trust patterns instead of promises, you instantly become harder to manipulate. The moment you stop reacting to empty words and start focusing on real effort, the game changes. You send a silent but powerful message. I'm not impressed by talk, I'm impressed by consistency. 5. Don't compete for her attention. One of the most common tactics in emotional games is to make you feel like you have competition. She might mention other guys who are interested in her, post attention-grabbing photos, or seem overly friendly with someone else in front of you. The goal is to trigger insecurity, so you fight harder for her approval. The worst thing you can do is fall into that trap. Competing for someone's attention automatically puts you in a weaker position. It says, "I value you more than I value myself," and that imbalance gives her control. The antidote is simple: never compete. If she's genuinely interested, she won't need to create competition to keep you engaged. And if she does need to, it's a red flag about her maturity and intentions. Instead of chasing, step back. Continue living your life, focusing on your own goals, friends, and passions. When she sees that you're not threatened or desperate, the power dynamic shifts. You become the prize, not the pursuer, and that's when emotional games start to lose their effect. 6. Maintain your purpose and independence. When you have a strong sense of purpose, you become naturally resistant to manipulation. A man who knows where he's going, what he stands for, and what matters most to him can't be easily swayed by temporary attention or emotional drama. Many games work only because the target has made the other person their main source of happiness. If your world revolves around her, she can disrupt your emotions at will. But if your happiness comes from your own goals, growth, and lifestyle, her games don't hit as hard. Independence isn't just about having your own career or hobbies, it's about emotional self-sufficiency. It's the ability to say, "I enjoy having you in my life, but I don't need you to feel complete." That mindset makes you infinitely more attractive and unshakable. Women who play games often lose interest when they realize their tactics don't work on you. Not because you're cold or distant, but because you're focused on something bigger than the game. Your energy goes into building your future, not chasing temporary approval. 7. Be ready to walk away. The ultimate power move in any relationship dynamic is the willingness to leave. Walking away is not about revenge or proving a point, it's about protecting your self-worth. If someone's behavior consistently makes you feel undervalued, disrespected, or emotionally drained, staying only gives them more opportunities to hurt you. Being ready to walk away doesn't mean you don't care. It means you care about yourself enough to choose peace over chaos. It's a silent declaration that says, I will not trade my dignity for attention. The moment you truly embrace this mindset, everything changes. You stop tolerating half-effort. You stop making excuses for toxic patterns. And you stop hoping someone will change when they've shown you who they are. Ironically, being willing to leave often makes the other person respect you more, because it proves you're not afraid of losing them. But even if it doesn't, you win by removing yourself from a situation that's not worthy of you. Remember, love is not supposed to feel like a constant battle. If it feels like a game, the smartest move might be to stop playing. How to outsmart any woman playing games with your heart. Stoicism. In the world of relationships, attraction can be beautiful, but it can also be dangerous if you're dealing with someone who plays with your emotions. Emotional games are subtle forms of manipulation. They confuse you, keep you off balance, and make you question your own worth. If you're not careful, you can find yourself chasing someone's approval while losing sight of your own value. The truth is, outsmarting a woman who plays games isn't about being cold or manipulative yourself. It's about awareness, control, and self-respect, 3 principles deeply rooted in Stoicism. The first key is awareness. Recognize the patterns early. If she's warm one moment and cold the next, if her words don't match her actions, or if she constantly keeps you guessing, understand that this is not genuine connection, it's control through inconsistency. A Stoic never ignores the truth of what's in front of him, no matter how much he wishes it were different. The second key is emotional control. You cannot outsmart someone if they can provoke you at will. When you stay calm and grounded, you take away their ability to dictate your emotions. Every time you respond with patience instead of anger, or detachment instead of desperation, you gain the upper hand. The third key is boundaries. A man without boundaries will always be a target for manipulation. Boundaries are not walls, they are filters. They keep out behaviors that do not align with your values. If she disrespects your time, plays with your emotions, or tests your loyalty in unhealthy ways, you calmly but firmly communicate your limits and stick to them. The fourth key is to value actions over words. Anyone can promise love, loyalty, or commitment, but promises without proof are meaningless. A Stoic judges by patterns, not moments. Look at her consistency, not her charm. The fifth key is to never compete for her attention. A woman who deliberately makes you feel like you're in competition with others is seeking control, not connection. Instead of fighting for her, focus on yourself, your goals, your passions, and your growth. This naturally shifts the power back to you. The sixth key is independence. Your life's purpose cannot revolve around her. The more you rely on someone else for your happiness, the easier it is for them to control you. True strength comes from having a full, meaningful life with or without her. Finally, the seventh key, and perhaps the most powerful, is the willingness to walk away. If someone's behavior repeatedly hurts you, the smartest move may be to remove yourself from the game entirely. Walking away is not weakness, it is the ultimate act of self-respect. When you combine awareness, emotional discipline, strong boundaries, and a willingness to let go, no emotional game can trap you. This is the Stoic way, calm, rational, and unshakable in the face of manipulation. And that's how you outsmart any woman who plays games with your heart, not by fighting fire with fire, but by staying calm, aware, and firmly rooted in your self-respect. Remember, a man who values himself cannot be manipulated because he refuses to play by someone else's rules. If you found this lesson valuable, make sure to subscribe to Stoic Verse for more insights on relationships, psychology, and the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. And if this video spoke to you, drop a comment below sharing your own experiences. Your story might help someone else recognize the games before it's too late. Stay strong, stay focused, and never forget, the power is always in your hands. This is Stoic Verse, reminding you to live with reason, not reaction. See you in the next one.